So what is your FICO score? Your FICO score is essentially your credit score, taking into account five different factors. One being your payment history. Are you making your payments on time? Two being your credit utilization rate. Are you using less than 20% of your available credit? Three being the length of your credit history. So the longer you had credit lines open, the better you'll look to a credit card institution. Four, new inquiries. If you open new credit cards quickly, rapidly, they'll likely make a ding on your credit score just because you're taking down the length of your credit, the average length of your credit. And then five, last but not least, it's your type of credit being used. So this one is a little tricky because if you have 10 or more years of credit line experience, credit institutions usually like when you have diversified lines of credit open. For example, you might have a student loan, mortgage, auto loan, as well as different credit cards open. But you don't want to open all these things up because they'll likely ding your credit score because one, it'll be a new credit inquiry. Then also it will shorten the average length of your credit. So that's your FICO score. That's your credit score. It's essentially the same thing. Now, there's three credit bureaus that basically generate your credit score, and this is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And those three scores are usually different, and the credit institutions usually take the middle one, whatever is the median number. And you could check those credit scores once each year. And so essentially you could check one for your TransUnion, one for your Experian, and one for your Equifax just to see where you are to make sure credit institutions aren't making mistakes on your credit report. And you could check by looking at annualcreditscore.com, annualcreditreport.com. And for me, I actually check my credit score once a month, but I don't do it on annualcreditreport.com because if I look more than once, it'll likely count as a credit inquiry. You could use a free software such as Credit Karma, Turbo, which is the entity of TurboTax. You can use mint.com, and you could check your credit score on those different institutions for free because they update your credit score each month, and they use a FICO score as well. Maybe a different algorithm, but it's basically the same thing. So I also wanted to mention the recent news about Equifax and a lot of people's credit being available to malign actors. So you can there is a possibility that people can earn 125 if they can prove that some malign actor looked their credit information and they stole their identity, right? Now, you could prove it, but you also have to go online, go to Equifax, and then you also have to report what all you had to do to basically make your credit correct. So it's not as easy as signing your name and pressing submit. Of course, I want to encourage anyone to definitely try to get the money, but all the money that is available or all the money that the federal government charge Equifax, that doesn't all go to the public. Only about maybe less than 200,000 people will actually get the $125. But I definitely encourage you if you've been able to submit the wrongdoing and you've been verified that you will be receiving the 125, let other people know in the comments. And I definitely want to encourage you to try to get the money, by any means. But it just looks a little cumbersome, and it's not as easy as it seems from the media.